Hello, CS students! Here is my guide for AI from OMSCS. Let's get that 4.0. Assignment 1 is on pathfinding. The goal here is to search for the optimal path from start to goal. They give you a few warm-ups using BFS, UCS, and A-star. So the trick part is they added bidirectional and tridirectional A-star. For bidirectional, I treated both the start and end goal as separate starting points, and I found a crossover node, so I'm having two priority queues. I personally popped from whichever queue with the higher top priority first. The tridirectional one is the hardest one, so I tried a 3-queue approach by defining an end node for each node. For example, if you have 3 nodes A, B, C, my 3-way queue would be A going to B, B going to C, and C going to A. So to decide which queue I will pop up in the current iteration, I use the same strategy like the bidirectional one by taking the highest priority. I am actually not sure if this is the intended solution because I didn't end up getting 100%, but somehow they ended up giving me all the points, so I just took the win. Also, I think some people mentioned using custom heuristics. I did try some, but it was not really working out, so I just used the one that they gave us. Assignment 2 is the isolation game, except instead of playing with the queen, you're playing with the knight. So parts A and B are pretty straightforward. They are minimax and alpha beta proving, but part C was extremely annoying because you're supposed to run against a hidden bot with a huge RNG factor, and you can submit the same code to get different scores across different submissions. And there was just a lot of excessive strategy suggested using the opening book, killer moves, transposition table. I personally only added iterative deepening on top of alpha beta pruning, plus a custom evaluation functions. I also toggled some of the values in my custom function, and with some luck I was able to get all the points. Assignment 3 is on baseness and sampling. This assignment is extremely short compared to the first two. There are only 2 parts to it. The first part is building a basenet using variable elimination, which is pretty easy to do. The second part is using GIPs and metropolitan hasting sampling. The challenge is they don't let you use variable elimination here, so you actually have to just use the formulas and code them out. One thing I got confused is they use the term experimental probability, which is basically just the probability from your actual sampling. That's that simple. Assignment 4 is decision tree and multi-class classification. Part 0 is on vectorization. As long as you have a decent foundation in linear algebra, it's pretty easy. Part 1 is building a binary decision tree and a confusion matrix to calculate precision, recall, and accuracy. Part 2 is on Gini impurity, Gini gain, and generating k-folds. One thing about Part 2C is that you can actually copy most of Part 2B. One tip that really saved me in Part 3 is when you classify after filtering features, you must sort the features you filtered. And it seems like common sense, but I don't know why I didn't do it. And according to the class forum, it seems like so many other people forgot to do that. And it's just crazy. And make sure you actually end up applying the filter before passing the matrix to the classifier. Assignment 5 is expectation maximization. This one is quite short if you're good at stats and linear algebra. There's 4 parts: k-means, GMM, model performance improvements, which you can mostly copy-paste from GMM, and base information criterion. It's mostly just following the instructions and plug and play. They take the top 5 assignment scores, so I skipped. Assignment 6, the exam has to take home exam over a week. The staff says it takes about 10 hours to complete the exam. It takes more like 30 hours for me, so make sure you start early and don't wait until the last minute. The content is not really too hard. One cheating strategy that I use is that I ask the staff questions that's pretty specific based on the provided example from the questions, and sometimes their clarifications can give away the answer without actually giving away the answer. There's also challenge questions with up to 2% of extra points, so might as well do them. One thing that drove me nuts is that we had to do the assignments in Jupyter Notebook, and it was so annoying not being able to use any IDE shortcuts. Also, I think there's just way too much stats for a course called AI. It feels like a lot of the content in this course should be in machine learning. If this was helpful to you, please give me a like and subscribe. Good luck to us!